This topic I'm really excited about. Brian, messaged me the other day about this because of a video I posted. Do you want to kind of take it away from there?
Yeah, you posted a video on your primary YouTube channel, which was about Team America, which is a movie with puppets
Yeah,
about
it's made
something.
by
I've
the
never seen
same
it.
people who created South Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
So apparently this is a very famous movie in certain circles. I had never heard of it, right? When we first talked about it, I was all kinds of confused. But nonetheless, clearly famous movie. Other people know about it. Doesn't matter that I don't. The point is, you had you didn't make this video. You had the video. You hired somebody to make the video. As far as I know, they wrote the script. They made the video. They put it together. You just told them, here's the topic I want, right? Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
And here is where I was confused. I totally get having somebody else make it, having somebody else script it, because you're not the kind of person who generally writes narrative kind of scripts like that. I totally get having somebody else do it, but it was their voice also doing the voiceover. They also did the voiceover, and I just didn't understand what I was looking at because your channel says Adam Krutinger, and the video was posted by Adam Krutinger, but it wasn't written by, edited by, or even narrated by Adam Krutinger. It was some other person entirely, and I don't understand why it's on your channel.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I'm the producer, it's like
Are
all
you
those
though?
it's like all those. Well, it's funny. I was just watching what's it called? That show on Disney Plus where they do the how it's made type of stuff with movies. What you were telling me
Oh,
about it
oh,
too.
oh, oh,
What's
oh.
it called again?
We were both watching that. I can't remember what it's called. No, I
Yeah,
just woke up.
whatever it's called. I think it was that. Maybe it was actually another show. I found out that The Nightmare Before Christmas was like not even directed by like Tim Burton,
No, it was
and he actually had
Tim
very
Burton's The
little
Nightmare
to
Before
do with it.
Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. The only thing he had to do with it is I think he wrote the poem that turned into the movie, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, he
Yeah, and I
financed it, I
think
think.
maybe some original sketches in the very beginning, but maybe
Hmm.
not even. Like again, and that's again. I'm not saying
Was
I was
Henry
inspired to put my name
uh
on something.
yeah, yeah,
No,
wasn't it the actual director is
I forgot his name. He's really famous too, though.
yeah,
But
he's really famous. Yeah. And I should
yeah,
know this. It's like one of my all-time favorite movies, and I
yeah.
anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
But again, just so you know, watching that wasn't my inspiration for doing this. Here's just really what happened is I met this guy, Ben Page, who's an amazing puppeteer, brilliant, and he made a video essay video just like this before, and it was just about puppetry. The art form of puppetry to begin with. I think he called it Beyond Baby Yoda, which actually I purchased that from him as well, and that's on my channel as well. That was the first one that we kind of started talking about this topic. And you were wondering why it wasn't my voice, and I mean, like to me, he just did it so perfect that like, why would I? And I think I know reason. I can think of reasons why it might be a good idea for me to do it, but I'm just like this guy's an expert in this. He wrote this essay, and it just felt so true in his voice. And also, I don't mind helping. I should say I love helping other artists and creators, get more of their word out too. And I just felt like it's a good situation where it helps us both, especially since I think he was happy to get the gig as well, and as well as just to have his. I mean, one thing that so many artists love, obviously, they love making a little bit of money, but they just love having their stuff seen too, which is another thing. Not that I'm a huge channeler by any means, but for
Oh,
puppetry, which is
big enough.
so. Yeah, yeah, big enough for puppetry, I think, at least for now. But I don't know. That's just a couple of my points on it.
No, I mean, I agree with all that stuff. The idea of having somebody else have, the fact that he wrote it and it makes sense and he's good at doing it. It makes sense in his voice. The fact that you want to help, show this amazing work to your audience and all these things I agree with. It's just there's such a disconnect for me as I was watching it and just going, where is Adam in this? Like what? And just trying to figure out like why is this on this particular channel? And so I can think of two things. One, either you start a new channel where you are a curator of things, right? Where you're a curator of these cool video essays, and you bring people on to do video essays about topics that you think your audience would be interested in, or you do a 20-second intro with you on camera and say, hey folks, here's what I got for you today. I had this idea about this thing. Here's the guy who did it. He's awesome. You're going to enjoy this. And here, and that's it. You just a 20-second video intro of you saying to your audience, I'm involved in this to the extent that I thought this was a topic that you, my audience, would enjoy. The guy who created this, who voiced it, is amazing. You're going to like this.
That's a really good point. I'm glad you mentioned it that way, because a couple things I would just say, that sounds like a really good idea, but it kind of goes against a lot of my belief on social media from a couple standpoints. Like, first of all, I don't make anything for my audience. I make things, I want things on my channel that I like, and that's what I think draws other people to my channel. And the idea of having me do an intro on it, I don't think it's a bad idea, but again, I'm trying to grow this channel. I want to reach more people. The type of people who would watch that video essay are not necessarily the same as a draw, I should say. The kind of people who would be drawn to that video aren't the same type of people that would necessarily be drawn to a tutorial or be drawn to the podcast. A lot of people like those video essay things, and I think having me at the beginning makes it too much of like a lot of the other things. And the other thing I'll say too is I feel like you're thinking very much like in the YouTube world, whereas like when you say like it's on your channel, this doesn't make sense because it's not you. It's like, I think, in my opinion, I should say, 90% of people don't look at YouTube that way. It's like in the same way, not everything on Netflix isn't Netflix produced. Most people just use YouTube as a search engine to find information rather than to follow somebody completely. I think the amount of people that actually like follow a YouTuber is actually kind of small. Like, for example, I would probably not ever put that video in my Instagram feed. I might put it on my Facebook page, especially since that's the Krutinger Puppets page, which would probably, you'd be probably more okay with that as well at that point. But I don't know, that's just a couple of my other thoughts on it too.
Yeah, no, and I get that. Like, I'm always shocked when I look at the metrics on, say, my new audio channel, that 89% of the view time comes from non-subscribers, and I'm just going, well, where the 3,100 people who are subscribed? What are they doing? Where are you? But no, by the way, 3,100. Less than a year ago, I had like 300 people on that channel. Doing okay over there.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It switched back to your camera as I put up my mug. It was awesome.
Great.
But no, I hear you on that, and it could. For somebody who doesn't already follow your channel, they just randomly find it. It's some random guy talking for a second with puppets in the background. Maybe that breaks the immersion of just getting into the video, and maybe they click off within 10 seconds because it's not the thing that they thought they were clicking on. I get that. Maybe you should have a little thing at the end of the video. I don't know. I just feel like your channel isn't called video essays about cool things. It's called Adam Krutinger, and it's just there's just a disconnect for me.
Again, to me, that's why it connects. Because if because it's Adam Krutinger, it can be anything. I can put my magic shows, I can put art education video, I can put puppet stuff on there, I can put one of Brian's videos on there. It's like whatever. I feel like
I need that puppet exposure.
Yeah. I feel like it's like. That's why I named it Adam Krutinger instead of Krutinger Puppets, even, because like this is a peek inside of my brain in a way. And then again, like, you could look at that and say, sure, but Ben Page isn't a peek inside your brain. But
right.
the way I see it though, it's like, at least from an audience perspective, like if I share something on Facebook, like let's say. One of my other puppet friends makes a post, and Krutinger Puppet hits share, right? And then now it's in the Krutinger Puppet feed. Sure, that's not my content, but still, there's other things from the puppetry community that are on my page that people are sharing. So from an audience perspective, at least, there's no difference. However, obviously, there is a slight difference from the creation and the publishing standpoint.
Yeah, I thought it was so well done. I mean, that's why I actually, if I didn't think it was that great, I wouldn't have even bothered talking about it, right? It's like, like I wouldn't have thought to mention it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's right. And
I,
I just want to hop on that point for just 1 second. It is so good, and that's also the other reason why. It's like when I watched that video, I was like, oh my, I love video essays. I love video essays. I watch them for movies all the time. So I watch too many Star Wars ones, and I was like, doing this for puppets is amazing. And like I love this so much. I think other people will love this. If I can help share this, that's what I want to do.
I love video essays. I watch tons and tons and tons of video essays. It's one of my, if not my favorite mediums on YouTube, honestly. I really enjoy long form, 20, 30-minute often video essays. And I've always kind of wanted to get into them, but I know that it's such an art form that I don't know if I have the bandwidth right now for myself to be writing that kind. I'm already writing so much type of content everywhere. Plus, as you know, I script all my videos as well. Like I really write so much. But seeing you do that just made me think, gosh, if I could hire someone to tell them, here's a topic and an angle that I want, and hire someone else to write it and put it together, I would do the narration. I would 100%, for me, I would 100% do the narration, then send the file to them and let them edit it and finish the video. But I would love to have somebody else script it and put the video together. And I'd love to have somebody script it, send it to me, and I'd like to be able to edit the script a little bit into my voice, basically.
Sure,
So
course, yeah.
more collaborative, where somebody does the heavy lifting of the scripting that I don't have time to write, but say, here's a topic and here's an angle. Maybe here's a few things to look into that I think about this topic. I love the idea of doing
with that 100%. And then actually, this is a topic that we're going to get into next week. But the only other reason why I wouldn't want to do that, though I think that's a great idea. And maybe I will do that type of video with him at some point too. I'm open to doing other things as well. But the other thing I like about this, selfishly, I don't have to do anything. I just have to upload, because like we're both trying to get outsource some of our work right now as far as editing and design work, which we're going to talk about that next week, so stay tuned. But it's just nice to have content that I connect with, that it was still initially, at least this one was kind of my idea, at least to produce it, and I still feel attachment to it. I love it, and I think it's really quality content that gives people value, that they'll learn more about puppetry, bring them to the channel. And again, I didn't have to spend hours and hours or do any back and forth on doing
it. I just realized as I was thinking about it that the way I'm thinking about it is more like when I have interviews like you have interviews, I do interviews, somebody else is providing the bulk of the content in the interview, right? The person I'm interviewing on my channel is providing the bulk of the content, but my voice is still in that video. I mean, literally, obviously, but like, I mean, even more than literally, my voice is in it because I'm asking the questions. I'm the one that chose them to be interviewed, right? I invited them as a guest. And I guess that's what I'm just missing, is it just felt like your voice wasn't in the video anywhere. And I guess maybe it was because you chose the topic and you went and commissioned it, but it didn't feel like it was. I wonder if even just produced by Adam Krutinger, just a line on the screen at the beginning of the video,
I feel
would
like
have done it.
That, to me, that's kind of implied by it being on my channel.
So I don't think
not.
so.
Maybe not. And the other thing is too, like you say, it doesn't have my voice. It's like, that's okay. Like, it doesn't. I don't think I need to necessarily be attached to everything. And I know, but it's on my channel that has my name. Like, I get it. But I think there's such a small amount of people that even notice or care. I look in the comments. I mean, some people are like, oh, that's not Adam's voice. This is somebody else. And it's almost like they discovered it. And a few people think it is me. I'm like, oh gosh, they don't watch.
Well, that's actually what I thought. That's actually what I thought was going to happen, was that because people were just going to assume it was your voice and be like, oh, he sounds kind of different. Oh, maybe that's just what he sounds like when he does a voiceover. Maybe the voice, maybe his real voice is an accent and this is his real voice.
I would love if Ben Page's voice was my voice. That would be great.
I actually thought that's what people would assume, is just go, is that his voice? Because sometimes you can't tell if somebody's doing a different type of project, if it's really their voice or not.
That's a good point, because I think that I never really thought of that potentially happening, but that might, especially since the goal of this was to kind of reach a new audience, and if that's their introduction, I could see maybe obviously new people who find me because of that video of course they
Being
would
very
think that.
confused the next time
realizing
they
that
see a
now.
video from you and you're like,
You know what? I'm all about confusion. I embrace confusion. I've been confused my whole life. Why stop now?
that's right. You've forgotten everything we learned as a magician. Confusion is
Yes,
the enemy
yes,
of magic.
yes.
Said Di Vernon, who had one of the most confusing cups and balls routines ever designed. Anyway, yeah, I think we've kind of beaten this one down in terms of the. I don't even think we're disagreeing so much as we're just
No.
saying, well, there's like I think we're both agreeing, and you're saying, but I don't care. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah. I guess why don't I care? Is it because of my goal? You know, my goal is not to just have my name on everything and spread more people to know who I am. My goal really is to just spread puppetry and the love I have for it, and hopefully inspire other people to love it. Now, of course, look at the sign behind me. You wouldn't necessarily think that. My name does get dragged along the way, some part of it,
Yeah.
you know. I'm proud of my name. I'm proud of things that I do, but I do not for one second feel like I have. Because here's the other thing too. Because I know there's some puppet people who maybe don't like my channel because like he only really does one style of puppetry. He doesn't represent other styles of puppetry. It's like you don't want me to do something that I don't really aren't. You know,
that's
I mean,
such a strange thing. Why would you? Yeah.
well, those are people who I think have other
Purists.
emotional problems anyway if they're thinking in that kind of a way. But anyway, you know, I never asked to represent puppetry. I never necessarily. I guess I am trying to a little bit at this point to try to get more people interested in it. But yeah, I don't claim to be, you know, like an expert in puppetry, especially all types of puppetry. But you know, hopefully, here's the way I think this style of puppetry that I mostly do, this Muppet style, is like, you know, it's like the gateway art to puppetry, right?
Yeah.
Because I have explored, I've taken classes on marionettes, I've taken classes on shadow puppetry and other types of puppetry, which I never would have done if I didn't find this type first.
Right.
So I'm fine if this is the catalyst for people.
I mean, just like even someone like me, years ago back in college, I just thought this style of puppetry, the Muppet style, was just so cool and so much fun. Just as a consumer of it, as a viewer, that I had a custom puppet made for me back in college, and I thought at one point, oh, I'm going to try to use this in my magic show. I just thought it was so cool. Never ended up using it. You know, just it just yeah. Yeah, I have a custom puppet I paid a lot of money for it. And it was very cool. It never ended up, but like even someone like me who had no training, no real interest in, I bought a custom puppet made of this style because it just seemed like fun, and it seemed like if I was going to do puppets, this would be an easy way to do it. Because I felt like, oh, there's not much to it. I can do this. You know, like that's kind of. I was like, well, I can get into that. Yeah, no, I get that. So. No, I love that your channel can become broader, and I loved the video essay itself. Even though I didn't know anything about Team America, I still enjoyed the essay, and the guy put it together so well. Do you think he would do as well with topics that weren't things he already knew about, like puppets? Like if I wanted him to go, if I said, hey, I want you to do a video essay for me, write something like just like that and edit it kind of just like that, but I want you to do it about the history of dynamic microphones through the ages, right? Would he be able to do that, or is that just he just did this one because he was just good? Is he good at writing video essays, or is he good at writing about puppets? Is what I'm asking.
I think both. You know, in the same way, it's like there's Joe Pacillo is known for drawing horses. His horses are better than anyone's horses ever, okay?
Yeah.
But he can draw a person. He can draw other things. It doesn't mean you're not just good at one thing. You know, I say this guy is a puppeteer, and puppetry is his main interest. But clearly, he's got the skill for the writing and the editing as well. I'm sure
really
if you
well
gave
put
him
together.
any topic, he'd research it and be able to put it together. And actually, in the description, I'll put a link to his information to his YouTube channel, and hopefully up at the top here some of the other videos are popping up too. But yeah, no, I mean definitely check out his stuff. He's a filmmaker. He's a filmmaker. Making
that was clear.
Trying to make short films and stuff. And the video essays is just something I talked to him. I said he thought it was something he always wanted to do, And so he
Yeah.
just did it, and then that's how I found him, because of the one that he did. And I was like, oh, I'd love to work with this guy.
Yeah, it's so good. I love video essays. I'm a big Lindsay Ellis fanatic. I've been watching and loving her channel for so long. Yeah, and
You know what, though? And
especially
just to kind of go back to my point, though, I watch so many video essays, I can't name one of the people, because I just go by the topic. Because, again, I tend to even... there are some YouTubers I follow, but a lot of people, I just watch the video that I search for and like. I don't
This
always...
is so interesting. Okay, so that may be why we have a difference of opinion, because that is not how I approach it at all. I follow specific creators and I watch every video essay they put out, whether I know the subject of the essay or not. So like I follow The Take, those two girls, I don't know what their names are, but their channel is The Take, and they do these really great 20-minute essays where they give kind of their take on a trope within movie or television history, pop culture history. And any video they put out, even if it's about a movie or a trope or a TV show that I'm not familiar with very much, I'll still watch it because I love the way they think and put together essays. I'll watch anything Lindsay Ellis puts out, right? So one of my all-time favorite YouTube channels and now podcasts is Lessons from the Screenplay, and then now they have
I think I
Beyond
have
the
seen that
Screenplay.
one. That sounds familiar.
Michael and his whole team over there, they're unbelievable. So I do follow creators specifically and watch anything they put out, where it sounds like you're searching for topics you want to watch a video essay on. And that may be exactly why we're thinking about this differently, because we consume it differently.
Yeah. That's probably the answer. We solved
All right,
it.
well,
Yes!
solved that. That was good. It took 20 minutes. We worked it out. We figured out why we were disagreeing. And it was Henry Selick, by the way, which I started to say about Nightmare Before Christmas. The director is Henry Selick, which I started to say because I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the guy who did James and the Giant Peach. But yes, it was directed by Henry Selick. He is actually the mastermind behind Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is the official title of that movie. So there you go. There you go.
Right. Well, I think, that was great. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this. There's more coming, and on to the next
On to the next project. Look what I found. I found my fidget spinner. Remember these?
Oh my gosh.